What's going on, YouTube family? T.O. here, Simplistic Fishing, back at you tonight with some more lake breakdowns. But we're actually out of state still. We're up in Michigan. We got to finish off the Navionics side for Spring Lake for Mr. Barron. He's the guy that won the SD card, and we broke a new lake down for him. Hopefully, Mr. Barron, you got a few more lakes up there in Michigan you can share with us that we can break down, because this one looks super cool. Now, we already talked about the Google Earth hotspots, so make sure to go check out that video. I'll put a link up at the top for you. And tonight, we're diving into the Navionics side. So stick around. Got some good stuff for you. Here we go. Well, here we are for Spring Lake on the offshore hotspots. We're actually going to go through with Navionics now and see what we can find from a contour perspective that looks like really, high percentage fishing areas. So let's go ahead and get started here. Let's start down here by the bridge where we started at last time. And all I'm going to do is I'm just going to work my way up this east side. I'm going to point out anything to you guys that looks to me like it would be a high percentage fishing area. So I want you guys to go check it out. So the first thing is right here inside of this little marina where all these docks are. You'll notice that there's a little cut in. There's actually one over here as well, a little point right here, but there's a little cut in right here, and it's got some really steep drops right in that area. I would definitely go check that out. If they'll let you fish around those boat docks, I would go in there and see if there's any type of ledge or anything in there that looks, interesting enough to fish around. And then maybe when you're there, swing over here as well and just kind of look at the little outside edges of these areas just to see. All right, so the next spot that I definitely think that you'll have some success in is right up here off of this point. You notice you've got some really sharp breaks all off the edge of this point. It's all out here. I pretty much put the marker right there. It does say that there's a wreck there as well. I don't know if there's a wreck there or not, but if there is, that was even more stuff to be able to fish around. But you definitely want to fish around the point, find the breaks and stuff like that. I think you're going to have some success there. All right, so let's keep going up just the east side here. Now, there's a lot of breaks in this lake. When you get out here, it really drops off. It's kind of like the lakes that we have here in Texas. The lake I live on today, Ray Hubbard, it'll be flat for 50, 100 feet, and then all of a sudden, then you'll find your breaks. So I think it's very similar to what we're seeing here. But you guys got a little bit steeper water than we do, or steeper banks in the deeper water. But right here, if you look, you've got the main lake coming over here, and then it makes a real good cut in right by these docks. Now, most of these docks are pretty shallow. That's why they're so long like this. But this dock, it comes out and actually touches right around where that break area is. So I would definitely go fish at least those 3 docks right there, just right off the edge of that point. I think those are going to be the 3 best docks of all of them that are there. Now, while you're there, though, come out here and look at this ledge. Get out here off the edge and see if there's a ledge there. It appears there's a ledge there from the contour perspective, but sometimes things are a little bit different when you get out there on the water. All right, so we're going to keep moving up. Again, some real good breaks and things like that. Got some pockets and little bays and stuff like that. But right here, again, another one of those little turn-ins where it almost looks like there's a creek channel or something that turns in right here in front of that dock. So go in, again, fish around that dock, fish around where those breaks are, see what depth they're at, and then you should be able to locate them and pick them up. But you got a pretty nice little deep hole there that has some really quick access to some shallower water. Again, we go up here, we're going to see the same type thing. We've got another ledge that's being formed here. You can see it's formed all the way around the outside edge of this. But right here is a really good spot as well. You've got a nice little ledge going on right out here, and then it kind of comes out into this big little flat, underwater flat that's like 10, 11 feet before it breaks off again. So I can see that area in there being good, and also up here. And really, when I put these 2 marks, you really need to scan from here all the way to here, and actually all the way to like here, and just see where they're at, see where they're located. They're going to be somewhere right in there more than likely. You've got the point, you got the break, you got the ledges, you got the little flat underwater. There's a lot of good things going on right in that area. All right, so I'm going to move back over here. The next thing that I find when I come up here again is really close to this dock, but you've got a real sharp turn in the contours right here. And it makes a really good little ledge again right here on the outside, a little bit farther outside of that dock that's there. So definitely check that one out. And then as we get back up in here, I don't think I had anything further back there, but let's go up here on this side and see what we found here. Here, I just marked this because it says there's a pipeline there. And If you guys ever fish those underwater pipelines, those can really be good fish attractors. They literally like hug right up against the pipe. So see if there's anything attracted to that pipe. That pipe could have warm water in it, stuff like that too. That could attract them as well. So definitely go look at that. All right, then as we move down here, the next thing would be just this little point right here. And if you look at the contours, we got the same thing going on that we were seeing kind of on those other spots, right? Where you've got pretty flat and all of a sudden you've got some really, really sharp breaks. So go in there, take a look at that, see what kind of breaks you have there, see if you can fish around those. I think you might have some success there. Again, also up here, Prospect Point, real good ledge that comes off of this point right out here. You can see how dark it is. Just looks really, really good. You definitely want to fish all around that area and see what you could find as far as offshore fish that are set up. Now, as we move further up, you guys have lots and lots of really sharp like breaks that are out here, like really, really sharp breaks. So it's really hard to tell from a contour perspective, what's there. You might want to do some scanning and stuff like that and just spend some time trying to find some offshore stuff. I'm sure there's some rock piles and things like that are out here that I can't see from Google Earth. So just take a look at that. Anytime you see these really sharp ledges like that, you want to kind of scan around them and see what's going on. There's some really good stuff around that. The thing is with this lake, it's the entire lake, so that'd be kind of hard to do. So let's point out this one right here. So let's look at this. We've got that sharp break, but this one looks really, really awesome because you got this flat area here. Then you've got a little mini ledge. You got another flat, and you got a super ledge right there on the edge. So that area right there, right off the edge of that point, to me, that's the best spot that we've seen so far from an offshore standpoint. I would definitely go there. As we move up here, we've also got another little point that comes out. You'll notice it right here, and a little indentation that comes in with that nice little break. So right there, you got a little point that comes with a little indentation. Maybe checking right in there. Again, you're probably just going to focus on the points with this huge break that you guys have. The points are probably going to be your best place, and you could definitely scan that entire break. That might take you a while. So I would definitely start with the points and then work your way from there. Same type of thing here. You got two little points, underwater points here. You got one here with the ledge, and then you got another one here with the ledge as well. So both those spots look really good. Really like how those come out with that flat top and drop off. And then I also like how you have this little turn in that's right here, really close to them. All right, so I'm gonna keep going up. Let me show you where I'm at. About halfway up the main arm here. So I'm gonna keep going up. Next thing is gonna be again another one of those things where it's flat, and then you got a little mini ledge that goes basically from there to about right there. So you definitely want to check in those areas and see if they're locating up on that. This little dock looked interesting too. Notice how it's pretty sharp ledge out here by the dock, and then all of a sudden it just drops off. So maybe take a look at that dock. I didn't mark that one. We also have another point that's here. Some pretty good ledge off that point. Always like those. Let me back out a little bit, and we'll go up here to this next one. We're just across from Stall Bayou, so we're not too far away from there. Now look at this little turn in here. This one comes in, real sharp turn in, real sharp break, right up against the bank line. Again, that's probably out of the ones we've seen so far, I'm going to say that's my number 2 spot. I'm thinking that's going to be one of your best spots to go look at. Also right in here off of this point, that's going to be pretty good as well. Real good ledge, real close to the bank line. So I really, really like that. All right, so then we're going to keep moving up here. And nothing up here, so let's swing back. And now we're going to swing all the way back down. Something pretty similar here. I wasn't too fond of this spot, but I did want to mark it for you guys because it's maybe not as obvious as some of those other ones. So you do have a little underwater point here with some pretty good break. And if you look right here, this is even deeper. This is 19 foot where everything else is like 17, 16, 15. So real good break here and probably one of the deepest spots that are left before you get back in the cove. So check a look at that. Maybe something there, maybe not. I don't know. It's worth taking a look at though. Next thing, when you move over here, really like this point. This point's got a real good break on it. You can see there the contours that come off there, and it's also got the nice little flat tops. You could take a look at that. Look at this big hole that's back here. This one's pretty cool. Up here, it's 2 foot, but right here in the middle of that hole is 15 foot. So you got this massive little ledge that's right there. And my guess is that's probably an old pond. We may have even marked it as an old pond on Google Earth. I don't remember seeing any pond dams on, on Google Earth, but we definitely have those here in Texas. I imagine you guys have them in Michigan too. Everybody's got ponds. So Take a look at that. That almost looks like a pond dam. If it's not, someone's just really like dug out this crater there, but that could be money right between those two docks. And I'll back out so you guys can see. That's going to be my number 3 spot, I think. Since we're counting today, I'm going to say that would be my number 3 offshore hotspot. That if I was going out here today, I'd probably mark that as my 3rd spot to stop at. All right, so keep moving on down. I do want you guys to pay attention to these ledges that are out here. They can produce, so you definitely want to look at those when they get really tight like that. But again, come in here. I'm going to make this my number 4 spot. Another one of those huge turn-ins. Look at the ledge you have here. You've got right in here, you've got 1 foot right there, 2 foot, and then 20 feet away, you're in 22 foot of water. So real good breaks right here, right off the edge of that point. And if you get back in here, you can also have the same thing right here off the edge of the bank. So it tucks in way back in here. So it's basically going to fish. You want to fish basically from right there, this side of the dock, and then come around and stay on the outside edges and fish all the way out to that point right in there. All right, let's keep going. Another one of those similar things, one of those little cut-ins right here. So if that's working, right? So if you hit this as your 3rd spot, that's working great. 3rd spot worked. Man, you think you got a pattern? Well, boom. Now you got, and then if that works again, now you really got a pattern. And then now you got 3 different spots right there with that same pattern. So hopefully you guys can take advantage of that, and hopefully that pattern will come true for you guys. That'll be super awesome. All right, so we're going to keep moving on down. As we move down here, we've got another one of these little ledges. So you'll notice here, pretty flat. And then all of a sudden you just get a really steep ledge just right in this area. So I'm thinking right in there, there's probably something going on right there where I put that little fish mark. Now we're going to keep on coming down here. We're in the Jerusalem Bayou now. Didn't see too much going on back in here. Not too many contours and stuff. I think we saw some pretty good stuff on Google Earth on this one, just not on Navionics. But if you follow those contours and you look to see when they get the tightest, they get really tight right here around this little point that's right here. So I would definitely fish the point that's right here, little secondary point. Not super obvious that you're going to point there, but there's definitely a point there for sure. And then also out here off of this point looks good. It's got that same type thing that we saw on the other one, where you've got maybe not as sharp as breaks. The sharp breaks are over here and over here, but it does have a nice, pretty good break that happens right here that takes you back down to a flat. And then from that flat, it also takes you, into that deeper water. So some pretty cool stuff there. Apparently I turned on the stupid pin, but I'm not going to worry about it. So we're going to keep moving down here to the left. I didn't see too much going on this bank line from a contour perspective. Very similar to the other one. You got that really sharp break when you get outside of those docks. So you can almost just get your boat and set up on the outside of the docks and just scan. Just scan that whole entire ledge and see where they're at. They're going to be somewhere on those ledges. They are. All right, so then we're going to move down here, and we're going to come off this point. This point, I believe, has some riprap and stuff on it. I don't think this is the dock. This is actually the dock over here. But real good drops right off the edge of that. So right on the edge of that point, let me see where that's at to show you guys. It's right there. So I don't know this lake that well, definitely. So wherever I'm saying, but right there is definitely where you want to go. All right, so let's keep going. This little point here looks really good too. Nice, good drop off the point. Pretty good flat on the top of it. So definitely looks interesting. Again, look at these sharp breaks you guys have. You got some really sharp breaks right in there. We're going to keep on going down. We talked about Prospect Point, so we're just south of Prospect Point now. This next area looked pretty interesting too. If you look at it, it's very similar to those other points. It just, to the eye, it doesn't set up as pretty as the other ones, but it's definitely here. If you look, you got flat, and then you got a really good drop that happens right there. Then you got another flat, and then you got another really good drop as well. So really like those spots. And again, if they're setting up on that type of contours, that we've got 4 or 5 of those marked throughout this lake. So you could really have a heyday if you get on a pattern where that's really working and they really like that type of setup. All right, so I'm going to keep moving down here. And as we get down here, we're getting down here by the main yacht club, Spring Lake Yacht Club. Again, I don't know if they let you guys fish around the boat docks or not. I'd imagine they do. If they do, definitely want to come back in here. Take a look at that. Got some pretty good sharp drops right off the edges of those docks. And then right in here, of course, if I zoom back, you can see that. You guys are probably looking at me like, what in the world? You know what I would also do? I didn't catch this when I was going through the Navionics. I checked that, but I'd also come over here and check this point too, right in here. and just see, fishing around here. You got some pretty good contours right in there. Decent ones here. Really like that big sharp drop back in there. And then also out here, you got some really sharp contours right out here off the edge of the point as well to take a look at. Basically just fish that entire point area. That's going to be a pretty good area to take a look at. All right, so we're going to keep moving up here. We're almost finished with this lake. I told you it's only 1,250 acres, so it doesn't take too long to go through. And it's not really doesn't have that many offshore hotspots to go through. It has quite a few, though, so we'll definitely take a look at them. All right, so next thing I want to take a look at is right here off the edge of this point. You can see here, real good flat top, real good sharp breaks right off the edges. Even has a little turn in there. Really like that whole area. I put 2 markers there for you guys because I think that's going to be a really good spot. In fact, were we up to 3 or 4? I think I was on my 4 spot. I'm going to make this my number 5 spot for sure. I really like how this spot sets up. And again, this is going to be kind of the wind. I want to play with the wind. So if the wind's coming from the south, if it's coming down here and pushing this way, I'm going to set my boat up here and fish this way. If it's coming from the north, down this way, I'm going to swing back around. I'm set probably almost on that flat. I'm going to cast back out into the wind that way. So it's really going to depend on the wind, but definitely looks like it's going to be a good point for you. Also right here is going to be good. And then coming down here, we've got 3 more spots to show you. Again, this is a pretty busy area with all the traffic coming in and out of the main lake, but you've got some pretty good ledges that are out here. Right here, if you look, 10-foot flat, and then a real good ledge coming right off the outside edge of it. You just got to ignore your surroundings. You're going to get up there and it's not going to feel like you're offshore because you're around boat docks and things like that. But there's some pretty good contours going on around this thing. There's a little point that's out here that you could take a look at that's out here. I think there's that other spot I showed you guys that was up there. There's some really sharp breaks that are back in here around the ramps. But really, right here, I really like right where that Keenan Marina point is. That looks like it could have some potential. It's right off the outside edge of that third dock coming in. And then, of course, these 2 over here that I showed you guys. And then we're going to move back down. We're going to go right here. I just marked this because it says there's an obstruction here. I don't know what type of an obstruction it is. It could be a big old pipe. It could be a concrete pillar. It could be rocks. I don't know what it is, but anytime there's an obstruction, bass, I feel like they read the sign and they know that an obstruction is there and that they need to hang out around it. So definitely go fish that obstruction. What I'm going to do is I put all of these offshore hotspots onto the Google Earth Waypoints KML. So we have them all combined together. I take that KML and then I can convert them over to your graphs for Lowrance, Humminbird, Garmin, or if you just want to look at the Google stuff, I can do that for you as well. So we'll take all this, we'll put it on a card, and we'll put it out there on our site, simplisticfishing.com, for those of you that want to purchase this lake up in Michigan. It'll be out there. And if you have more lakes that you want me to break down up in your area, just let me know. And one last thing, congratulations again to Beaver Baron, Mr. Baron, for winning the Spring Lake SD card from Simplistic Fishing. Until next time, guys, I hope you catch your PB. Take it easy.